If you're feeling stuck with print on demand, you really need to watch this. I'll start by saying, don't give up. Well, not until you watch this, and then maybe if you're still not feeling it and you think all hope is lost, then maybe give up. I'll start with a personal story. Maybe you can relate, maybe you can't. Either way, it's quite relevant. When I first started print on demand, it was a long time ago, 11 years. Flippin' heck, 11 years. I forget sometimes how long I've been doing this. Why am I still selling t-shirts? Anyway, I digress. I got incredibly lucky when I started. I went straight into personalization, and it was the early days in this industry. I did well, really well. I brought in around $70,000 in profit in a very short space of time, but I hit on print on demand and Facebook ads at a weird point. And back then, you could target people by their names in ads. It was a ludicrous time to be alive and to be doing print on demand. Facebook eventually caught on and stopped this, and that's kind of where things got really tough. I made other designs, and some worked, some didn't, but I was just so jaded by the quick success that I had. I was literally getting a 100% success rate on every single design I made. That's unheard of, but I thought it was normal because I hadn't experienced anything else. So when I actually started print on demand, without this tactic, I realized how hard it was. I realized how much I had to actually learn. And being completely transparent with you, I gave up. I'm not proud of it, but I gave up. I couldn't hack print on demand. Anyway, I eventually got back into it, now with a more realistic view of how it all worked. From there, I started learning, I started testing, I started implementing, and most importantly, I started realizing that not every single design sells. In fact, not even 50%, not even 80%. Very few of the designs that you actually make actually end up getting lots of sales. And even fewer end up going viral. Now, I wanted to tell you this because in this business, the hardships can be overpowering. The constant failure of designs can be incredibly demotivating, and giving up is honestly a very reasonable response. But hopefully I can convince you otherwise. Straight from the get-go, you get excited about starting this business. You dream of all the sales that you're going to get and what it will do to your life. And that could be the fault of the people that you're watching. And even I've been guilty of being quite optimistic in some of my earlier videos. Granted, it's understandable if people keep telling you, how easy it is and how passive it is for you to believe it's easy and it's passive. But once you realize it's not, it kind of feels like a weight has been lifted from your shoulders. Once you know it's not passive, it's not easy. And once you realize there isn't a trick to this. It's a proper business, one that actually requires work and time. Then you can start to set realistic expectations. Throughout the business, from finding niches, researching designs, making designs, creating your mock-ups, uploading, maybe even getting sales, there are so many points in which you could fail, slip up, and break the whole chain. This is rarely spoken about. In fact, I've recently been seeing TikToks that have millions of views of people explaining the entire print-on-demand business in 1 minute. In what world should a business that has this much potential and, that is this complex, be able to be explained in 1 minute? I don't know. Think of this like a long tightrope with checkpoints along the way. Every checkpoint you get to, you're getting closer and closer to the last one, which is sales. However, if a mistake is made along this tightrope, it breaks, meaning you'll never actually make it to that final checkpoint because you'll just fall. And the most frustrating bit is most people don't actually know what part of the tightrope they broke. They don't know if they broke it out of the gate with their niche choice, or if their designs broke it, or if the platform they chose, or with the mock-ups they ended up going with. There are so many opportunities along this tightrope to actually mess up. It's really why I believe in building this business with a community, so that if you break the tightrope at any point, hopefully a huge handful of people can tie it back up for you. It's literally why I spent a year building a community of helpful people, building the Print on Demand Hub. If we have a look at that tightrope one more time, ask yourself, where do you think you could be going wrong? Is it your designs? For most people, it's designs. Or maybe the designs are fine, but it's your mock-ups. Think to yourself, what could it be? What part of the tightrope could you be breaking? And what I'll say is this: before giving up, take a look at what you've done and think of this analogy. So many people will give up after the tightrope breaks rather than see if it can be fixed. And I'll tell you a secret. It can always be fixed, even if that means going back to the beginning and choosing a different niche. It can always be fixed. And if you want to give up with this business, I totally understand. I've been there. I gave up once. It happens. The problem with giving up is you need to ask yourself, what next? Okay, so print on demand didn't work. What about SMMA? What about Amazon private label? Anything that you move to will have that same tightrope. The only difference is the checkpoints. You'll have different checkpoints along the way. Some you'll have more, some you'll have less. No matter what business you run, there will always be failure along the way. There will always be opportunity to mess up. There isn't a silver bullet in business. If you got lucky with crypto 15 years ago, that would have been your silver bullet. But most of us didn't, and hindsight is a wonderful thing. And if you did get lucky with crypto, I doubt you'd be watching this video. So, before giving up with print on demand, remember, other options aren't easier, they're just different. You might just need validation for your decisions, or some advice, or maybe some extra help. And I say this with complete sincerity. Find someone that can be your guide. And I'm not just trying to sell the community that I've built. If you pick mine, you pick someone else's program out there, it doesn't matter. Whatever you decide to do, I do think if you had the guidance of where you're going wrong and where you're going right, I really and truly think it could make the difference in your life. I know people with online courses have a terrible reputation, and that's one reason why I made ours different. There's no $1,000 price tag. There's no sign up and forget about you. Just watch the material. I absolutely hate that. I want to see you make it. I want to help you get over those hurdles and cross those checkpoints. Of course, there will be people out there who troll this video or call me a fake guru or say, I make more money from this than I do from the pod business. And that's totally fine. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. But until you know the real amount of effort that goes into each and every member in the community, please give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm not like those other people. I'm genuinely trying to disrupt the online education space with the Print on Demand Hub. The Hub is good. Don't get me wrong. It does make money. I'm not trying to hide that from anyone. But the businesses that Chris Heckman and I actually run for this scenario, the print on demand businesses, were both very transparent about it, and it makes way more money. And either way, this video wasn't meant to end up like a pitch. It really wasn't. Believe me, I just want to make sure that before you decide to quit, you've really exhausted all of your options. Print on demand is a very viable business. It's not oversaturated. You don't need to massively think outside the box. It's a very good business model. And this is coming from someone that has done so many different things. From Amazon FBA to YouTube, freelance, photography, dropshipping, consulting, SMMA, honestly, I say this truthfully, print on demand is a very, very solid option. Anyway, that is my rant, my motivational speech. However you want to take it, I hope it helps you somehow. I don't want you to give up without knowing what went wrong and maybe if you could have fixed it. That's the truth. I just want everyone to see where they're going wrong and if they can work on it, and hopefully that will allow them to fix the issues that they're having and actually end up getting sales.